Everybody, happy Wednesday. It is June 1st of 2022. I don't know about y'all, but I'm super excited. I got a lot of feedback with promoting this upcoming podcast that we're now live with these highly successful single moms that just so happen to be crushing it in real estate right now. Even our setup is a little different today. We're in a relaxed mode on the couch, so that way we can make sure to accommodate our ladies, make them feel comfortable. But just want to, before we get the thing going, I'd like to say, please like, comment, and share this podcast. We are now also live on YouTube, the Sauce Podcast with AJ Regatas. So if you can, please just make sure to share. We're trying to grow our audience. I'm getting a bunch of messages from people asking to be on the podcast, businesses that are asking to be on the podcast. So please reach out. Let's see how we can work something out and get y'all on here. But without further ado, I want to get this thing going and introduce these three women that have took out the time to wake up early and join me. I was getting some heat from them last night because I don't have a professional makeup artist yet. And so hopefully one of their suggestions was to find a sponsor so that way we can offset that cost for a professional makeup artist. But with further ado, I want to introduce these three ladies. Let's get started with Lupe Moreno, who is owner of Moreno Realty Group, Whitney Robinson, owner of Robinson International Group, and Ana Sanchez, owner of the Harmony International Group. So thank you, ladies. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes,
Definitely
awesome.
A morning.
Awesome. So are y'all excited? Y'all nervous still, or?
Excited.
A little bit of everything, I think.
Okay, cool. Well, that's okay. We're gonna be good. So, I wanted to do this podcast because, being raised, I should say, for my first 8 years by a single mom myself, I witnessed a lot, and I was even talking to my mom last night, and I asked her, can you share something with me that maybe I don't know for those first 8 years when we were just doing it, just us two, and there was just some crazy stories that she was sharing with me, just of course I knew about, we would always ride the bus to work. She worked 2 different jobs. She was finding anyone she can, friends, family that can babysit me while she would work, but also at the same time, she worked at the Sizzler back in the day. I don't know if y'all remember that, the Sizzler, and she would wait tables, and sure enough, I remember I would sit in the booth and all her coworkers would just come and entertain me just to keep me busy because I was always bouncing around on the booths. But yeah, it's been a thing for me that I've always kept in my heart and treasured, understanding that the struggles and challenges that a single mom goes through. And so that's why I figured that today would be a great episode to just, to highlight some highly successful ladies such as yourselves and to kind of hear your story, share your story, and maybe possibly even inspire some other single moms that are maybe going through those challenges, those valleys right now that are just looking for some inspiration. So let's get started. Lupe, I want to start with you, and I'll ask all three of you the question. Okay. But I want to start off with introducing, like I said, each one of you. Also, how can you be reached? Share your contact info or social media.
So I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and you can look me up at Moreno Realty Group. Also on LinkedIn, and if you want my phone number, it's 210-528-8876. That's my personal phone number, but I have a team of agents that would love to hear from you as well. Our office number is 210-526-0084, and we can definitely help you guys with any of your real estate needs as well. So,
awesome. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Oh, let me get out of that. How about you, Miss Whitney Robinson? How can you be found and reached?
Definitely on social media. My Facebook is Your SA Realtor, and Instagram and TikTok is With the SA Realtor. So you can find me on both of those as well. Direct sell as well, because I do a lot of coaching and mentoring, especially for the ladies. And my personal number that I can always be reached is 210-236-2736. And I would say that's pretty much the easiest way to get in touch with me. Text or send me a DM, and I'm very responsive.
Sweet. And Miss Ana Sanchez, how about yourself, ma'am?
Yes. I had to do that. So I can be reached at Harmony International Group. That is my Facebook and Instagram, Ana Sanchez. And I think it's Anna SA210 is my Instagram. And my number is 210-387-0351. And my email is Ana Sanchez Realtor. That's it.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, ladies. Okay. So let me ask, I'm curious to know so that way you can share with our audience is first, Lupe, with you, how many kids do you have? What are their ages?
Oh my God. Okay, I have 2 kids. My oldest is 26 years old.
Nice.
And my youngest is 5.
5.
So they're
Wow.
21 years apart, and they're not worlds apart because they are very close, and they look for each other, and I'm very blessed that they are able to, have that relationship with each other. But yeah, I have 2 kids. I have 2 boys. I'm a boy mom.
Nice.
Whoop, whoop.
Nice. Cool. Does your 26-year-old help you with your 5-year-old?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Well, he's in College Station right now, so but when he's home, he does help me with him. He comes to visit him, and he puts him in
Nice.
check every now and again. So
I bet he loves his big brother, though.
Oh, he loves him. He's always looking for him. He's always asking for brother. And when brother's around, he's like, they fight with each other too sometimes.
Yeah.
Even though they're like 21 years apart, they act like they're 2 years apart when they're around mommy. So, which is kind of cute. So.
That's cute. That's cute. Thank you for that. How about you, Miss Whitney?
I have one, also a boy mom. He's 5, and he's my absolute entire world. Definitely the reason why I'm in this business, why I quit my corporate job, and went out on this venture and doing it all for him. So
Nice.
just one.
And Miss Ana Sanchez, how about you?
I have one. My daughter, she is 17. Her name is Harmony Michelle Sanchez. That's my world, my baby, my life.
Nice.
Just me and her.
Nice. 17.
I'm so jealous. I want a girl. But
Oh no, there are a lot
I
of
don't
work.
know. I'm a boy mom. I love boys. I love boys because they're so much fun.
She steals my makeup.
She does? Okay, never mind.
And your clothes? Does
And
she
my
take your
jeans,
clothes?
I
was
catch
gonna say.
her all the time. Like, are those my jeans you're wearing? Yeah, she's
I'll
That's
just have to
funny.
dote on your daughter then. When is she graduating? I'm kidding.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not looking forward to my 2 girls growing up into their teenage years because they're already acting like teenagers. And I hear from their mom telling me that my older daughter, Audrina, she's always using her clothes, her shoes already. And it's just like, this is crazy. She's 11 years old. She's almost as tall as her too. So yeah, I'm really nervous. I'd be lying if I didn't say I'm really nervous about them breaking into their teenage years. So
Good luck.
I know I'm already getting gray hairs. But so Lupe, let me start with you. What is something you know now that you wish you knew when you first started in real estate?
Holy cow. My gosh. What do I not know now that I didn't know then? Is that what your question was?
Yes, ma'am.
For me, it's more of like oh, you know what? For me, I didn't know that you don't have to be a broker to own a brokerage.
Very
That was
true.
like the biggest thing for me. So I've been doing this since 2004.
Yeah.
I've been licensed since 2008. And I've done, I've always flip-flopped back and forth between a builder rep and a real estate, agent. And I never realized that you don't need to be an individual broker to own a business entity, which is what I own.
Correct.
And that's my brokerage. So
Nice.
that's what I didn't know then that I know now. But
Yeah. Nice. And I'm sorry, I should ask all 3 of you. I'll start with you though. How many years you said you've been in the business?
since 2004. So however
2004.
many years that is. I'm aging myself too. So. Let's see. What is that? 18 years almost?
Nice. Dang.
2004.
That's some good experience right there.
Yeah, I started in new home sales, so that's where
That's right, I remember that.
I
That's right.
catapulted into this industry. I had no
Yeah.
idea what I was doing. My mentor, rest in peace, he just literally took me under his wing and said, "You got this."
Nice.
And I didn't know what I was doing. Did cold calls and called 3 or 4 year old leads that I didn't know that were still alive. That
Yeah.
still wanted to buy a house.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned real estate. I never
Wow.
even thought about real estate ever in my life until I met my mentor.
Nice. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Miss Whitney Robinson, how about you? First, how many years have you been in the business? And then also, what is something you know now that you wish you knew in the very beginning when you first started?
So I just entered into my 5th year of real estate.
Nice.
So super exciting for the milestone moment, I feel like, in this year. And something that I wish I would have known from the very beginning, because I feel like it would have saved me maybe like 2 years of the struggle of finding my footing, is I always thought branding wise, it needed to be about the brokerage that you were with. And come to find out, the best thing you can do for your business is self-brand yourself.
Yep.
And until I really understood that and knew that it was allowed and how to do it properly. That to me was absolutely a game changer, and it took my business from here to here.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, nice. And one thing I want to kind of highlight that a lot of people don't know is when you first started real estate, you're not from San Antonio, right?
Yes, that's my little secret, I guess. It's what made this whole journey, I think, for me so much more rewarding. I also always tell people, never go and compare yourself to somebody else's sales or what they're doing in the business. Just stay really focused, and you have to know yourself. What do I need for my family that's going to make me happy and fulfill everything that I need? But coming into all of this, I'm not from San Antonio, so I told you I'm just going into my 5th year of real estate. I've only been in Texas, here in San Antonio, for 6 years.
Wow.
So even to this day, I've still spent 0 marketing dollars. That's
good.
Why I'm, I self-brand. And I did that off of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, like just different platforms on the social media side, because I knew no one here. I was never scared to talk to anyone. I always joke and I say, if flies would even talk back, I would sell them on a house too.
That's me.
Because you have to kind of let that guard down, especially when you're not from here. I had no family, no friends, nothing. I mean, I moved here with 0 sphere of influence. And just, I'm sure that we'll get to it later, but my circumstances of how I got into real estate, when your back's against the wall, you just have to make it work.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And that's a pretty cool, I'm glad you're sharing that, because, I have often, discussed or had conversations with agents that either were new to the city or have they didn't grow up in San Antonio, or, they're just a few years in San Antonio. And so they're like, look, I don't have a database, or I don't have a network. I don't have a sphere of influence. And it's just like, you're an example of someone that relocated to San Antonio, maybe got settled in for about a year, and then jumped into real estate, and you had to build your database, right?
Yeah. I'm still building every day.
Yeah.
And I think we're always doing that. I don't care if you've been in the business for 1 year or 20, you should always be growing your database.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things, not being from here, how do you make your own database? How do you get in front of people? The easiest way, I will say, in today's market is definitely social media.
Yeah.
I look back and I see my very first videos that I did, because I'm also known on doing quick clips and being very spontaneous and really showcasing my entire life on social media, but being extremely vulnerable. I always have had my son with me every single showing, inspection, appraisal, closing, everything from literally 4 months old until he was 3.5. So every single day he was with me. He was also on my videos all the time. But looking back 5 years, I'm like, oh my God, like I posted that? That's horrifying. But it built my business and it built my brand. And hopefully I'm a little bit more entertaining on videos now than I was 5 years ago. But you just have to do it.
Yeah.
And the more you do it, the more you're going to become comfortable. And honestly, by building my brand this way, I'm attracting the clients, my A+ clients that I want to work with.
Yeah.
I am 100% referral-based business. I've never bought a lead. And I like that, because I'm working with people that connect with me, connect with my videos, my son, and all of that. So for me, self-brand.
I love it.
Wish I knew it.
I love it.
In the first 2 years.
I love it. Real quick before we get to Anna, guys, just want to remind y'all, please like, comment, share. We're trying to grow this audience. We're also on YouTube now, so the Sauce Podcast with AJ Regatas. But please, if y'all can just help us out with liking, commenting, sharing, help us grow this thing. So,
Robert Spain says great podcast.
oh, thank you, Robert. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother. Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, thank you, Ruben. Yes. Ana Sanchez, let's move on to you. How many years have you been in the business, and what is something that you know now that you wish you knew when you first started?
So I've been in the business 9 years. But prior to me getting my license, I worked for my brokerage for a couple of years. I was his receptionist, then I became the office manager, and then I was a recruiter. So I've been in the business for quite some time. Not going to say my age, because I was 21. But one thing that I think I wish I knew was I wish I joined a team. I wish I would have gotten myself a mentor and joined one of the top producing teams and maybe became a sponge so I can learn everything. Because my first couple of years, I was just floating. And I don't even know what I did. I don't even know how. I mean, who knows how those transactions got closed? Thank God they did. But I wish I learned from someone that was experienced, and I was too cocky, and I didn't want to pay my commission or whatever. But I wish I would have joined a team and just soaked in and learned all the things that they knew.
Yeah.
And then,
That's very true because to kind of touch on that, teams weren't really a thing back when we first started, like that wasn't a known thing. Teams started growing about 7-8 years ago. And it was a new thing. And now, everyone's got a team now.
Or like a top agent, I wish I would have just been like, hey, can I go shadow you for free? Like, I'll just follow you every single day. Can I just, but I did.
I was on not a team, but technically a team. I worked for a broker associate at Remax back in the day, and I was able to learn from him and just be a sponge. So that was one of the best things I've ever did. Yeah. Commission wise, it didn't really matter to me because at that point, we were learning from one of the top agents in the city. So that was pretty cool. So that's a good one.
Cool.
True. I want to touch on this real quick. It's kind of off topic, but just something that came to mind because I'm seeing it a lot more and more lately where I agree. So if you're someone that's looking to get into, male or female, if you're looking to get into real estate, these are some really good suggestions. I agree. That's something that I always push or preach about as a new agent. I would recommend joining a team, but a good team, a solid team, a team where your team leader shows they care about their agents. That's the unfortunate part with teams being so popular today and these days is everyone's starting a team and they don't know the first thing about leading a team. And so, I would definitely say look into that, but make sure that you feel confident that you're joining the right team.
Research the team for sure.
Research the team. Ask other people in the industry about these teams. But most importantly, what I wanted to say is make sure you're very careful on what you're signing when it comes to agreements. Because gosh, I am noticing just more and more agents in the industry that I talk to are stuck or at least they feel like they're stuck in these agreements like non-competes, and those are actually you can't hold someone accountable, or you can't hold someone to a non-compete because we're 1099.
Doing that to a single mom in the city.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so just be very cautious about the agreements that you sign when joining a team or a brokerage, because I've seen some nasty agreements that I'm just blown away that these are being typed up, to be honest with you. But yeah, just wanted to kind of throw that in there as we're mentioning some of these suggestions for getting into real estate. Let's move on to the next question. Anna, I'll start with you. What is your proudest parent moment?
I think I have proud parent moments every day in my life. I can give you a good example of last night. So I have dinner with my daughter every night. And last night, so she's about to turn 18. And I told her, I said, you know what? I'm proud because you haven't broken a bone. She has never.
She's never broken a bone?
No.
Wow.
And she's 18. That's
wow. That's impressive.
And my son just turned 5 and he's already broke 2.
Exactly. And she started laughing the same way. And I'm like, girl, you have not broken a bone. I did a good job.
That is funny.
So I have proud moments every single day with her. But that's just a good example. She's never broken a bone. She's never gone to the hospital. And when you have a kid at a young age and you're by yourself, that's your worry. It's like, okay, better not break a bone. I'm not gonna take you to the hospital. And she's been fed, so we're good. I did a good job.
Yep, I agree. So, that's pretty. That's a good accomplishment so far. We need to knock on some wood somewhere around here. But what about you, Miss Robinson? What is your proudest parent moment?
Oh man, also so many. Just every single day, I'm so proud of Weston. But my biggest thing, and a lot of people know this as well, but my faith is really what anchors and grounds me in my life. And just knowing at such a young age already at 5, he's recently, I would say in about the last month, just really telling me every day how much he loves God and that God's in his heart and he understands it. And that has nothing to do with real estate. Yeah. But it makes my heart so full because it's a pat on my back as well.
Yeah.
Just knowing, you know what, girl, like you're doing good. Like
Yeah.
how you just said too, like at the end of the day, we have a roof over our head, food in our bellies, but most importantly, he has God in his heart. And what more can I ask of
Yeah.
than that? Like, I mean, he's
True.
been through a divorce with me. He's been through an unstable situation between selling a house and, you know, moving and having now 2 parents' houses to go to and just everything. And so keeping the joy in his heart and him knowing where his little faith is already and how bright it burns, like that to me is absolutely my proudest parent
Amen.
moment.
That's nice. That's beautiful. I love it.
Please don't cry.
I know. I saw Lupus
But we
tearing
have
up.
makeup just in case.
I brought my makeup bag with me, just so you know. But it just, gosh, I don't know.
Yeah. How about you, Lupe? What's your proudest
I
parent
have
moment?
2 boys, so I have like 2 biggest proudest moments of my life. You know, I'm not gonna cry. So I'm not gonna cry.
It's okay.
It's okay. You can cry.
So my oldest is 26 years old, right?
Yeah.
And he's my ride or die. Like that boy grew up with me in this business. He practically grew up with me. I was 20 when I had him. I'm giving away my age now. I just turned 47 in May, so.
Look at you. Wow. I would have never guessed that. I would have never guessed that.
I know. Before the podcast, I asked her secret. I was like, okay, so what are you drinking? What are you putting in your face?
I said kids.
You look so good.
Yeah. Well, you know, I gave her my secret, and I'll give my secret in a minute. But my biggest, first, proudest moment ever was with my oldest son, and he's probably going to kill me because he's probably listening. If
Yeah.
he's not asleep right now, was that when he came out to me when he was 15.
Wow.
He was 15 years old, and it was such a struggle for him to tell me that he was gay, and not because I was against it or anything like that, but because he knew I wanted grandkids.
Yeah.
And he was like, I didn't want to disappoint you, and sorry. The first thing I thought was like, gosh, I'm such an asshole because I didn't know how to respond.
Sure.
You know, like for me as a single mom, as a mother of a, you know, boy mom, you know, he didn't break any bones, but he's broken my bones as a child. But, you know, I felt like, how am I going to protect him? How am I
Yeah.
going to,
Yeah.
how
You
am I going to
definitely jump
defend him
into
from
parent mode.
these other jackasses that don't know my baby?
Yeah.
You know, and say these, you know, ugly things or these F words. And,
Yeah.
and he said to me, the first thing he said to me was, Mom, I love you, but those are my battles to fight.
Oh man.
Wow.
This is my
That's a strong
then
kid.
15-year-old, you know, and he was
Wow.
like, it was so hard for him. He came up to one of my best friends first, and then
Yeah.
she talked to me about it, and I just like, I think I was more hurt about that because he told her first, but because I was like, I'm your mom, I'm your bestie, and he's like, no, Mom, this is different. But
Yeah.
that was one of my biggest, proudest moments for me and my oldest, because
amazing.
he's been through a lot. He's been through
Yeah.
a divorce. He's been through, you know, I was young and, you know, stupid, and his dad and I were just way too young
Yeah.
to be involved in, you know, getting married. We're high school sweethearts at that time, and we had no clue what we were doing. And, you know, kudos to him, because even though I was an asshole, he stuck around and he was still there for my son. And, you know, either indirectly or directly. And, you know, some might argue differently, but now that I've had my youngest son, he's just a different, obviously a different child, and we have a different, these different fathers.
Yeah.
21 years later, you know, fast forward, I have a 5-year-old now, and unfortunately his father and his father's family are not involved in his life, and that's okay. We've accepted that. And my proud moment for him is that he's such a healthy, happy baby. Like he just has like this, like he does not give a fuck. Like, he just does not.
I love it.
He's happy. He's you know, he knows what a daddy is. He
Yeah.
knows that there is a daddy. He just, it doesn't faze him.
Yeah.
You know, he just knows that this is my mom, this is my dad, my brother, and my dad and my mom, my oldest son are like his dads to him.
Yeah.
And he's just such a happy kid. Like he's complete opposite. They're day and night, my boys. my Adam was a nice one. He
Yeah.
was a nice one, but yeah, for me to be able to go from like, you know, 360 from you know, being a single mom with a single dad in his life, and not go to a single mom and no help. It's just, you know, 24/7. My mom and I, she lives with me, and I'm blessed that she does live with me, because without her, I don't know what I would do. I mean,
Yeah.
there's days where I've had to, like, you know, take him to inspections and, you know, showings and, you know, closings, and I
Put
have
little
to
hard hats on them.
explain to them. Yeah, I have to
I've done
explain
that.
to my clients, like, hey, I'm a single mom.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I'm negotiating deals on the phone, and he's in the background, like, singing, I don't know what, beatboxing. I have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
But he's just, you know, he's just such a blessing.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm blessed.
That's beautiful. I love it. Thank you for sharing that too, by the way. I love
you.
that. Okay, so let me start with you, Whitney. Here's a good one for all three of you, but we'll start with Whitney. Any sacrifices or struggles from your past that you'd like to share as a single parent?
Sure. So, don't know if I would love to share it, but we're going to.
Yeah.
But yeah, since we're here anyways, I will say a lot of people have a lot of perceptions about how I got into the business or what that maybe looks like. Or some people, you know, if they're just now in the last maybe year and a half becoming, you know, one of my followers and always there on social media and kind of seeing my journey, a lot of people there's about half of my, I would say, following audience that knows moving here. My timeline was moved to San Antonio immediately, not even within 48 hours. I got a phone call that my dad passed away suddenly. So as an only child, I had to go back home, deal with that. I was working at Wells Fargo as a wealth management and business banker. 6 months after moving to Texas, I became pregnant with who's now my ex-husband. 4 months after my son was born, I was served divorce papers. So, you know, I haven't even been in Texas really a whole year, literally almost like to the date, a year in Texas. Now, lost one of my parents, losing my husband, having a new baby.
You were going through a season, with the exception of the baby. You were going through a season.
Yeah, for sure. Ended up just because of some of my other past, putting a child in daycare was just, for me, it's not an option.
Yeah.
I never wanted to do that. So I knew, all right, well, I guess if I'm going through all of these things, I guess I might as well just quit my job while I'm at it and just add that to the bucket list too of all the crap that I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
But I did. I quit my job while my son was 4 months old. And honestly, to Sabor, who is our real estate, you know,
Local
board here, they really took me under their wing and they accommodated for me because of how I wanted to parent while I was still going to school. And I'll just never forget, you know, I even had at Sabor like my own little room to, if I needed anything for my baby, like while I was there
awesome.
taking classes. So shout out to Sabor with us. But struggle wise, that's a lot to take on.
Juggle.
Because I still no family here, barely had any friends here, quit my job, sold my house, finalized my divorce, went and got my real estate license, and just hit the ground running and just with the determination of, well, I know everyone says to have a plan B. I didn't have one. I knew that I always could go back to Wells Fargo or somewhere if I needed to. That to me, to myself, was not an option. So just hit the ground running with social media. And I also was just very transparent. Every buyer consultation or every seller consultation, I just told them, hey, I just want to let you know, first and foremost, my number one job that I'm super passionate about is I'm a mom. If me bringing my son to showings is not going to work out, unfortunately, then we're probably just not the right fit. And that's okay. And I think so many people in this business, they just see it as, you know, it has to be a certain way and you can't bring your kid to showings and you can't bring your kid to the office and you can't do this and you can't do that. Says who? Like, you might hold my license at your brokerage, but that doesn't mean that you get to run my business.
Exactly.
So I had to find, you know, my footing, what brokerage was going to be the best one for me to accommodate my goals and my non-negotiables for my life and my son, especially in the midst of a storm. Truly. So
nice.
that's
That's wow. Yeah. So and I agree with you, you know, like that's the thing about it, you know, is your referral base. And so your clientele, they're most likely I'm pretty confident in saying they're not going to have a problem with you bringing your son along.
No.
Because it's referral based. These are people
Yep.
that want to work with you.
Yes.
So of course they're gonna, in my opinion, they're gonna most likely accept that. So
And I'll tell you, I mean, all of my referral base came from my social media,
Mm-hmm.
but came from that vulnerable spot of I'm a mom and, you know, we're changing diapers in the back of the car and doing showings and
I'll open that
I
lug box for you and then
I
we'll come
got-
back and change
I'll
the
be
diaper.
back. Or, you know, have baby vomit on my
Yeah.
shirt. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not that little for that long, but what
Yeah.
a blessing that I got to have him along for the journey. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Nice.
great.
I love it. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Miss Sanchez, any sacrifices or struggles from your past that you'd be open to sharing? I should say that. Open to sharing.
I guess
I
I'll
know
share,
of one, but I want to see
I guess
what
I'll
you
share my little story. So, I like all of us, we want to be in love, and I fell in love a couple years ago, and I decided to quit my job, and I moved to Laredo with this man who became very physically abusive with me. He did some very horrible things to me for a very long time. So I quit my job, and I didn't have anything, and one day I decided to come back home. I didn't have anywhere to go. My parents didn't want me back. Nobody wanted me just because I made these really, really bad decisions all my life. So the only thing I had was my real estate license. It was still active. My car was about to get repoed. I had no money, and my broker took me in. You're gonna make me cry. So I had nowhere to go, and I hustled. My first transaction came from HEB. I gave everybody my business card. I was at HEB all the time. Home Depot. I mean, I was just passing out my card to everybody and anybody that would take it. I closed my first deal from this lady I met at HEB because she felt bad for me and my daughter because we were basically sleeping out of my car. And I made my little $3,000, and then from there, it's just my business skyrocketed. So.
Wow. Wow. Look at you, Miss Ana Sanchez now, well known in the industry.
Yeah, my business just comes from just not being scared. Just go out there, talk to everybody. Everybody needs a place to live. So everybody needs a place to live. Everybody needs a place to stay. I did rentals. I did everything. I just I moved my way up from having
love
nothing.
it.
I paid my car from that. I didn't get it repoed.
Yeah.
I got my little apartment, and then just from then on. Just this is the only thing I have. I have no college degree. I can barely speak English. So it's just my real estate thing. I mean, it's all I got.
Yeah.
Like I don't have anything to fall back on. I don't have family. I mean, I have family, but they don't make a lot of money. So
Yeah.
it's not like I can be like, hey, give me $20.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love it.
So
I love it. You know, this is why I wanted to do this segment, and I specifically chose y'all three because all three of you can relate in one way or another, and I feel like all three of you have faced some type of challenge, difficulty, struggle, whatever it may be, where your back was against the wall and you had no other choice. And I think that that's where you tend to see those that go through that struggle or challenge and actually make it, is because your back is against the wall. And to see, those that know Ana Sanchez, I mean, she does really well for herself, very well for herself. She's always getting awards, always getting nominated. And, to see the beautiful car that she drives and the house that she has and
Yeah.
just the things that she buys for herself, I'm just like, man, this girl's always taking trips. I mean, I love it. Like, I love seeing it. I mean, look, you're wearing Kobe's right now. Look at these Kobe's on her feet right
so
now.
the Kobe story is, I listen to Kobe all the time. He's
Yeah.
so inspirational.
Mamba mentality.
To me, he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
He's not the smartest, but he's always was the hardest working
Hardest
person.
worker. Yep.
And for me, it's like you don't have to be smart. You just have to put in the work.
Yep.
Just show up.
Yep.
That's all you gotta do. He would always say that. Just show up. So I
Yep.
wore these because I was so nervous to be here.
You know,
so I had to wear my Kobe's, and
this
I was
is-
like, I'm just gonna show up.
This makes total sense. So just so y'all know, whenever I get to the office, Ana is usually the first one there and the last one to leave. And I admire that because I'm just like, damn, like this woman gets here early, and then I'll pop in her office and I'll open the door and you just hear her on calls. She's on calls all the time, just calls. And that's why she's closing deals every week. But I'm just like, man, this woman, right when she joined us, I was just like, this girl is crushing it. She's just got that Mamba mentality where it's just work. And so I admire that. But I shouldn't say work. I should say you work and use your work hours efficiently.
Yes.
right? I mean, it seems like you do cut out that time in the evening, and that's a question I'm going to ask, but you cut out that time in the evening to have with you and your daughter. So that's admirable as well, to see that you work and use those work hours efficiently. So,
Yes, thank you.
Miss Lupe Moreno, how about you?
We forgot the tissue boxes. Jeez, oh my God.
I should have known. I should have known.
I know.
I'm super blessed that you invited me here, because now I feel like I've not only made, 2 new friends. I've known Anna for a while now, but we've never really been like personal friends, just as acquaintances in the industry. And like, gosh, I want to adopt them now. They're my sisters. They're my sisters in Christ now, because we've got similar situations that we've experienced. And Anna's touched my heart really, really well. Because one of my biggest struggles was similar in her situation, but I suffered from severe postpartum depression with my second son. My first one, I don't remember even going through that.
No.
But with my second one, I don't even know where I was at that time. This was like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've never experienced that kind of depression ever in my life.
Yeah.
And I've grown up humble. We're from humble, beginnings, but I've never felt like I didn't belong.
Yeah.
And after Daniel was born, I was breastfeeding. I was 41 when I had him. And, having a baby 21 years apart from in age is one thing, but having a baby 21 years apart in age for your body is another, and your mentality, because I'd never ever imagined in my life that I would suffer from something so horrible. Like, your brain is wired to think that you're not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this little tiny baby in this little bassinet that I had, and I was struggling. Didn't have a lot of help from his father. He tried at first, and then it just didn't work out. And having to breastfeed and learn how to breastfeed all over again. And 21 years ago, there was not a lot of gadgets and things for moms.
Yeah.
And then, I think back then, Babies R Us was still open.
Yeah.
And I went
Oh,
with my
wow.
sister-in-law and my brother to look for some nipples for the breastfeeding pumps or whatever. I don't even remember. There's a whole wall of nipples. And my sister-in-law, at that time, she was my sister-in-law, she looked at me, she's like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
She's like, "What the heck happened?" I was like, "I don't know, but do I need that many nipples?" Like, hello? I mean, but we had just the struggle of learning how to be a mother again,
Yeah.
to a newborn, and to breastfeed and pump, and how many times you have to pump and what you have to eat. Yeah. My mom was taking care of me at that time, and she just kept shoving food down my throat.
Wow.
If it wasn't milk, it was water, a lot of water, because you
Yeah.
do get dehydrated really easily when you're breastfeeding. And then having to go to work.
Yeah.
And then not having to work.
Yeah.
The first 5-6 weeks, I was freaking out. I'm not working.
Yeah.
And I worked till I was 7 months pregnant. I was door knocking.
Yeah.
And then my doctor was like, "No, girl, you got to stay in bed rest," because my amniotic fluid was diminishing, and he's like, "You can't do this. You just
Yeah.
got to sit on your ass and don't do anything but go to the bathroom and that's it, and eat."
Wow.
And it was just having to go through that, and having to go through the struggles of a relationship, and an abusive relationship, emotionally, and physically, and so forth. It was just not easy for me to grasp.
Yeah.
And then having to force myself to wake up, to feed him, to breastfeed him. Literally, I was propped up with all kinds of pillows because I was so tired of stressing and worrying and getting all kinds of messages at 3-4 o'clock in the morning that you're this and you're that, and all these negative things that are flowing in your head just put me in such a dark cloud that I didn't know how to get out of. And honestly, if it wasn't for my mom again, waking me up and pushing me to wake up and feed the baby, and sometimes she would get, I'd pump so much milk that she would just wake the baby up and just go feed him and let me sleep, which would sometimes be a detriment in a sense, because if you're a breastfeeding mom, that when you skip breastfeeding moments, your boobs get super hard and they hurt.
Yeah.
They hurt nobody's business. So that was my biggest, I would say my biggest struggle to overcome that. And I just, my faith, my spirituality, just everything, I prayed every day, please God, please get me out of this dark cloud. This is not me.
Yeah.
This is not who I want to be. And even my son's father said, "This is not who you are. I don't know you like this. Stop talking like this." And it just, for those moms that are out there that are, breastfeeding or just went through that challenge, just know that, or you're still going through that, just know you're going to get out of it. Just don't give up.
Yeah.
Keep praying. I don't care how dark your cloud is, how deep your thoughts are about, even suicide. Sometimes I felt like, why am I here, God? Like, why did you put me here? Like, why am I this baby's mother? Those are things that go through your mind, and you don't know how to overcome that. And people that know me, they know I'm happy. They know I love everybody. They know I get along with everyone. Even if they don't like me, I'll figure out a way to, I'll make you like me.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna figure this one out. But at that point in your life, you just don't know how to overcome that darkness, and it's something that a lot of us go through, even if it's not just postpartum depression. I mean, depression's there. Mental health is
Sure.
It's alive. It's there. Especially with social media and things of that nature. But I would say that would be one of my biggest struggles in life.
Thank you, ladies. Thank y'all for sharing these stories. That's why I know I had a lot of messages. I was telling y'all before we started. I over the past week, I've had a lot of messages from women that are saying that they were looking forward to watching this show or this segment. And even in our brokerage, we have several single moms. I know of several single moms in the industry. Big shout out to Corina Wang. She's also another high producing realtor that's a single mom. Her daughter's about to graduate with a bachelor's degree. Wow. And it's just like, man, to see her story, she produces a lot of, real estate. She sells a lot of real estate as well. And so I chat with her often too. And it's just really cool to hear these stories, and to kind of shed some light for others, to kind of give them that hope and inspiration, so that way they don't feel like they're alone. So thank y'all for sharing that. Let me ask y'all this, Anna, I'll start with you. How do you unwind at the end of the day when you shut it off? How do you unwind?
I drink a lot of wine.
I knew you were going to say that.
That is the truth.
Yeah. Wine subscriptions.
Yeah. Yes. No, I do the cheap wine. $5 at Target. That cheap. Yeah. I don't care as long as it's some alcohol. As soon as I get home, I'm okay. Okay.
That's funny.
But how do I want? So as you know, I'm very structured. Yeah. For the last couple of years, I follow my calendar. So when I get home at 8:30, it's just me and my daughter time. So I get home. Cooking is important for me. I make sure that I cook for us. We have dinner together. We talk. I drink my wine the whole time, and then I make sure I just hang out with my daughter. I put my phone away. No, I don't pay attention to my phone. And that's just my way of unwinding, drinking wine and just hanging out at home and not looking at my phone, period. So
yeah, nice.
How we do it.
I like it.
Yeah.
How about you, Miss Whitney?
I also like wine, and I also drink it when I'm cooking. Having family dinner is important for me as well, and I just have to say, you, Mr. AJ, are the one who taught me very early on, because I will never forget one day I called you, or maybe you just pointed it out and you're like, you sound really stressed and like kind of overwhelmed. I'm like, I am. You have no idea. There's clients calling me at 5:30 in the morning and then another one calling me at midnight, and I have a newborn, and how in the heck am I supposed to sleep and still sell real estate and accommodate my clients? And he goes, there's no emergency in real estate.
Yep.
I tell everyone that. Even if something crazy happens, if it's after 5 o'clock, literally, what are we going to do? We can't do anything. The bank is closed. The title company is closed. So for me, learning from you is it's okay to set healthy boundaries. It's huge. But by setting those boundaries, I also turn off my phone from accepting work text and calls at 7:30, because at that time, we are cooking dinner.
Yep.
My son loves to cook with me, so we do it together. We eat together. Reading just the bedtime routine, because we're still in that phase. So bath, book, and bed, that's our thing, and it helps me wind down too. If I still have to, do any admin work or anything, like once he's already in bed, I don't mind it, because I'm not a morning person. I am a night owl, so I like to do my admin work when he's in bed from 9 p.m. to midnight. Yeah. But I still take that winding down time with my son, and all thanks to you for teaching me how to set healthy boundaries of time management.
Yeah, you did that for me too, AJ. You I would stress out because I'd just be on the phone and people texting me, clients being all emotional and stuff, and you're the one that was like, hey, they can wait till the morning. Don't let that consume your mind. So I'm very grateful for you, AJ, for
thank you for that,
teaching me
ladies.
those things.
Same.
Thank you. How about you, Miss Lupe?
Well, I do have to say that you did teach me that in one of our little lunch meetings when I talked about how I'm always in work mode, like 24/7 work mode, because that's just how I am. And I have a 5-year-old that's poking at my head. Hey, want to play with me? Want to play, mommy? Want to play with me? And I did have a bad habit of staying on the phone and working even in my home office and not paying attention to him. Because I get spoiled. My mom lives with me, so I know, my mom's here. She'll take care of him, or she'll watch, him while I do this or that. Yeah. But it is important for me that I did implement some playtime with him, because he doesn't have. He's an only child, pretty much. Even though I have an older son, they're 21 years apart, and he lives in College Station, so he isn't kind of like an only child. So I am his playmate. I'm his mommy. I'm his daddy. I'm his everything in between. So if we're not if it's not Lego time, it's building block time, or he's on my iPad. We're watching, I don't know what, Guava Juice is this thing right now. Yeah. I don't know who this kid is, but this dude's big on YouTube, and Daniel just loves him some Guava Juice. Yeah. And he's hilarious. We're just laughing like crazy, and he's into TikTok right now. Yeah. I don't know how, but he just likes the funniest videos ever, and I'm just and then. Which explains a lot about this kid, because he's hilarious. If he was here right now, it would be the Daniel show. It would be, and then you have blondes next to me, so he likes the blondes. Yeah. He loves the blondes. If brunettes would
have more fun, girl.
I know. So I think that having that time to set aside for me for Daniel is important for me, because there isn't the other side of the family involved, and he's got, we have a huge family too, but they're all older. Yeah. And he has some cousins that I keep in touch with that are on the other side that we're trying to get together, but it's just a little sticky right now. So we need to be careful with that. Yeah. But that playtime for me,
I don't have. Huge.
I need to incorporate the wine in that playtime, because I haven't done that yet.
Put it in a sippy cup.
I need to figure that one out.
Get the mom one
for yourself. Your own an adult sippy cup.
For me, sippy cup, that way he doesn't think you're an alcoholic, because he's still learning.
Yeah. For me, it's okay, how do I do the wine and playtime together? We're gonna have to figure that one out.
I'll say this. We tend to, and as we get busy, we tend to fall off, with being intentional with our time with our kids, right? Yeah. It's one thing to take my kids to the park and be on my laptop and work while they're running around. It's another thing to be intentional in the moment with them. And I think that when COVID happened in 2020 and the shutdown happened, we really had an opportunity, and I think I speak for a lot of people, where we had an opportunity to really just embrace those moments and come back to reality of what it means to be intentional and in the moment with your kids, because that was something for me where it's man, I got all this time now on my hands. Let me play with my kids. And that's when we made TikToks and started up a TikTok and started doing TikTok videos together and just being more intentional with our time. Yeah, there's a lot of margarita time too, but just being more intentional with your kids, and that's really big for me, because I learned myself from past mistakes of not being intentional with my kids. I talk about that with my past relationship with their mother, and so it's something that I learned from. But yeah, so I agree. These are all good things that y'all can share that can possibly help others, is just be more intentional with your kids, Last question, and then we'll wrap it up. Whitney, I'll start with you. Is there a book that changed your life that you'd like to recommend?
There is. It's called Untamed.
Untamed.
It is amazing. Yeah. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's a New York bestseller, but it has everything in there, from marriage, divorce, business, how she got through raising her kids, the relationship she's in now, the joy that she found. Just, it's amazing. Untamed.
Thank you. How about you, Ms. Sanchez?
My favorite book. Well, I want to say something about the intentional situation. Yeah. So just because I know a lot of women out there with kids that get in this business. So one of my biggest regrets was I started this business when my daughter was really young, and I didn't spend a lot of time with her. I was always on my phone, like you said. I did it, and every time I pick her up from school, and I told you this, AJ, don't do it, and you stopped. But every time I pick her up from school, I'd be on my phone. I'd be working. I always just worked because I had to. Yeah. So now I'm catching up. So now I'm more intentional with spending time with my daughter, and I'm not on the phone when I pick her up. I'm playing catch up. Yeah. So if just make sure you make time for your kids, because I miss. She wanted to play Barbies, and I regret telling her no because I was
Yeah.
on the stupid phone or working. So, anyways, so my favorite book is The Miracle Morning. I live by it. That book.
You got some of the
literally-
agents on that
I
one.
got
now.
some of the agents in the office on
Yeah.
it. And I know you guys are like, you wake up at 5 in the morning. Yes, I'm awake at 5. So for me, it's like you win the morning, you win the day. So that book will teach you how to win your morning. It's just a great book of how to be intentional about working out in the morning, meditating, praying, being thankful. And then, you just win the morning, and then the rest of the day is just way easier because you've accomplished so much, and since 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So Miracle Morning, and they have it for real estate too. I think
Yeah?
there's a Miracle Morning for realtors
I
too.
didn't know that.
So
Okay. I'm going to have to check it out
definitely
myself.
recommend that book. Yes, AJ, you need to
Nice.
get up earlier.
I'll have you hold me accountable because I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
I want to
Me
be.
neither.
I'm like, I like that schedule. It sounds great.
Yeah.
5 o'clock in the
I just-
morning for me
5
was in
is
my
early.
30s.
That's why I was asking y'all earlier when y'all asked, and I was just like, I don't know if I consider myself a morning person. I wake up early, but I'm not in a good mood. So I don't know if like a morning person has to be in a good mood when they wake up. So usually it's right when I drink my Bang though. I wake up, drink my Bang, and I'm just ready. I'm alert and I'm good. I got some, motivational things, podcasts or little segments or clips going on that I'll just listen to start
It's all
brainwashing myself
mental,
to get
because
in
if
that
you were going to
good
go on
mindset.
vacation and you were going to go to Cancun and it
Yeah.
flights at 5 a.m., you're up.
That's true. That's true.
It's all mental.
That's true.
So every day we just have to think we're going on vacation.
Exactly.
Yes, every
Every
day.
day's a vacation.
Our office is in Cancun.
Yeah. How about you, Miss Moreno? Is there a book that you would recommend that really made an impact on your life?
Yeah, actually, well, first of all, these two books, The Untamed and The Miracle Morning, I'm going to look for those books. Those are really good suggestions. I like to read a lot of business leadership books. And
Yeah.
so one of the ones I'm reading now, it's called 0 to 1. And it's all about entrepreneurship. And it's not just about, becoming an entrepreneur. It's about how it works, about venture capitalism and where the money comes from. And, it's one of the most riveting experiences reading the book, because coming from humble beginnings, you just never know. They don't teach you this stuff in college or in high school.
Yeah.
They just, you go to school, graduate, and if you get to go to college, you can go to college. And if you get to go to college, well, you can either have somebody pay for it or you can borrow student loans, right? So they don't teach us how to become entrepreneurs in that sense. So this book 0 to 1 is one of the books I highly recommend. It breaks it down Cookie Monster style for people that don't understand it like me sometimes.
Yeah.
Even though I have a master's degree, it's still interesting to me to read. The people that are in there talks about Elon Musk and about the people from PayPal.
Nice.
And how they sold it to eBay, and I'm like, wow, this is really
Yeah.
good information, because even though I'm not anywhere near that level, but that's just an ideal image of what you want to be as far as a business owner.
Sure. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, ladies. Well, I know we're wrapping it up here. I know we're about 5 minutes to the hour, and so just wanted to, and I know all three of you know her. I want to share this. Miss Haley Witt. It's her birthday today, so just want to give a big shout out, Haley Witt. She's usually here with us in the morning.
I
so
don't know her, but I think I met her once before.
go have
I remember.
mimosas.
Yeah, it's her
Where you at,
birthday
Haley?
today, so she's the
Happy
big
birthday to
29,
you.
and just wanted to give her a
She's getting old.
quick shout out. Yeah, she's getting up there. Oh gosh, I wish I was 29.
Girl,
No.
don't talk to me about
That was my
old.
prime.
Yeah, seriously, she's one of our biggest
I was
hustlers.
29.
But yeah, I want to give her a shout out, and then thank you, ladies. I really appreciate you for joining us this morning, waking up this morning to join us and share your stories, share your challenges, the seasons y'all have been through. I hope that those that are watching or tuning in have been able to grasp something from this that can help them. I look forward to seeing if I can possibly get you on it again.
Done.
Absolutely.
Y'all be down?
Can we have the Glam Squad
Down.
next time?
Yeah, we are gonna have to do
Who's gonna
something
be our
about that.
sponsor?
Hopefully, we
We
get
need
some
to find-
sponsors.
we need a sponsor for our
yeah,
Glam
we're working on
Squad.
some sponsors. But
Hair
hey, just
and
real quick,
makeup, please.
want to share with y'all. Stay tuned for next Wednesday's segment. I'm gonna have your boy Dylan Shively on the podcast from the James Warren Group. He's an amazing credit repair guy. We're gonna talk about all sorts of things regarding the economy, the GDP. He said he's got some special sauce that he wants to share with us. So I'm looking forward to that. But make sure y'all stay tuned. We'll be live next Wednesday at 7 a.m. again. Again, ladies, let's go ahead and just say, how can people find you again? We'll start with you, Lupe.
Moreno Realty Group on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. 210-528-8876 or 210-526-0084.
Sweet. Miss Robinson?
On Facebook, Your SA Realtor, and on Instagram and TikTok, with the SA Realtor.
Awesome. And Miss Sanchez?
Ana Sanchez. You can just Google me.
She's like, Google me, bitches. That is something she'd probably say, Google me, bitches. All right, y'all. No, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you, everybody. I hope that y'all were able to take something great from this. If there's anything that I can say to you, like I always like to end it on a good note, is make an impact on someone's life. Y'all have a great one.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys. Thanks. Thank you.
All right.